No, Purva will understand much better than most of us. No, really.
Like
Kids
some
understand much better.
complicated words like anxiety and all those words.
Yes,
It is
yes.
very hard for them to understand.
Okay.
We have got other problems.
Yeah.
Worldly problems. Children don't have.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me something. Radhi, I know I shouldn't disturb, but I'm.
No, absolutely no
See,
worries.
Bhagavad Gita, you know, all in my mind, what Krishna says to Arjuna. That
Yeah.
is the full thing, right?
Yeah.
So now you are preparing everybody. Am I right?
Yes. This is an introductory chapter.
Yes.
Right. Hi. Hi, all of you are back. So we'll continue. Lalita auntie had a brilliant question in the meanwhile. She was like, I've seen the Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is just a conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, right? So basically, what we're trying to do in today's session is an introduction and like setting the scene, right? What is happening. And this is described in the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is not just a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna alone. There were so many people in that battlefield. There were people who were there were people who were, sitting in Hastinapur like Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya, and who were seeing what's happening on the battlefield. So basically, there were a lot of people involved. It's not just Krishna and Arjuna. But what Arjuna teaches us is how we can approach the Bhagavad Gita is basically look at ourselves in place of Arjuna and see what he's experiencing and see how we would react if we were in his place. And that's when we can apply what's happening in the Bhagavad Gita into our own lives. Right? All right. So let us continue. Right. So I said Arjuna was all confused, distressed. Right. I hope my screen is visible. Can people give me a thumbs up or say yes in the chat box? Okay, thank you. Priya says it is visible. Thank you. Yes. All right. So we were, yes. Arjuna spoke thus. We were on this slide. And this is the 27th shloka of the first chapter. And the first chapter has a total of 46 shlokas. So we're going to quickly run through. All right. So we have phones popping up here. Sorry. Yes. Arjuna is experiencing this uncertainty at this moment. See, it's his own family, and he's now really overcome by compassion, whether he wants to fight his own family members or not. He's really hesitating to fight, and he's conveying this to Lord Krishna. And another thing is that we can learn here is the humility of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was not an ordinary person, right? A charioteer means somebody who's like a driver at those times, right? But Lord Krishna was the king of Dwaraka. He was the ruler of the whole universe, the creator of the whole universe. And despite all of his qualifications, he could have chosen to be the chief commandant of the Pandava army. He could have chosen to be the prominent person of the Pandava army. But what he chose to do, he chose to become the charioteer of Arjuna, right? So that's the kind of humility that the Lord teaches us to adopt. So you might be in a very high position in society. You might be the president of a country. You might be the, CEO of a company. You might be in a very high material position. But when it comes to people that you care about, when it comes to your friends, all your qualifications boil down to how well you can support them emotionally, how well you can support them with the right guidance, right? And that's what Lord Krishna teaches us. And let's see, in his hesitation to fight, what does Arjuna tell Lord Krishna? He spoke thus. Swajanam. In Sanskrit, Swajanam means our own people, our family, our friends, right? He's bewildered. He's extremely fearful now of even doing this war, right? Because the consequences are so much against what he would like, right? See, he says to Krishna, now even if I win this war, What is the point of me winning this war? I'll lose the kingdom, I'll lose my family. And after losing everybody, after losing everybody in my family, how is it that I will be happy even after winning that piece of land for which I'm fighting? And look at his symptoms here. Limbs, his whole body is, trembling, quivering. His mouth has become dry. His hair is standing on end. Skin is burning. And he's the best archer of that time. And he had this extraordinary bow called the Gandiva. Right? The Gandiva bow, with which if he picks up the Gandiva bow and aims at a target, it's sure to hit the bullseye. But that Gandiva bow, which stands so stably in Arjuna's hands, is now slipping off his hands. He's experiencing so much discomfort and inability, almost like he's disabled because of these emotions overcoming him, right? He's unable to stand on his legs. Arjuna is a warrior. He's trained to fight. But when he is asked to fight against his own family, these are the symptoms. And I think these symptoms are not new to us. We've all had situations in our life while we have faced problems, sometimes so big that we might have experienced some of these symptoms or all of these symptoms, right? So it's normal even for a trained warrior like Arjuna to experience such symptoms, right? And if you've experienced anything of this sort, just know that you're just having human emotions, and it's normal. When Arjuna can experience it, we can experience it too. And there is a way out, right? There's a way out. So you don't have to worry. So let's see what happens further. Arjuna ends up deciding not to fight. He just says to Krishna, look, whoever you may be, Lord or whatever you tell me is fine, but I can't do this. It's my family, it's my brothers and sisters, it's my own teacher, it's my own kith and kin, friends, childhood friends, against whom I am going to fight. And this is not going to give me any happiness. I'm overcome by compassion. I've lost the interest to fight this war. And this war is not going to bring anything auspicious. I'm going to end up with so many sinful reactions, and I'm going to end up with so much of pap and sin. I don't want to do this. And if people die, Arjuna overthinks this whole situation. If you go back and read the first chapter, the shlokas, you will see Arjuna says, now all the elderly people in the family will die. All the men will die. Women become widowed. Children become orphaned. In this situation, what happens? People who actually, in our Indian tradition, this family system is very strongly rooted. So there's always elderly people in the family who guide the younger generation on what they can do further. But imagine all the elderly people are killed. There's no one to give a direction to the young people. There's no one to guide them. So this seems like such a grim situation. And if this happens, young people do not know how to lead their lives. They get into all kinds of irreligious activities, intoxication, gambling, and stuff like that. The children do not have proper support from parents. The whole family tradition will collapse. The whole societal system collapses, right? And this is not something that Arjuna would desire for his kingdom. After winning the kingdom, if this is the situation in the kingdom, he would not want something like that. So he says to Krishna, I'm not going to fight this war. I don't want to fight this war, right? My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before, I'm not feeling good. I'm unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself. Please, I don't want to fight. He's overwhelmed with grief. He's overwhelmed with compassion. He's overwhelmed with grief. He's in depression, right? And this is Arjuna's situation in the first chapter, right? So what do we learn from here? We'll talk about spiritual and emotional tolerance in tomorrow's session. We're running out of time. So what is the life lesson that we learn from this situation? We all have problems in life, and problems are not something that we can, avoid altogether. It is life, I've heard somebody telling this. Life is like a cricket match. So you are the batsman and balls are going to keep coming at you. You can't expect to stand in the middle of the cricket field and then, expect no balls and have a clear field for you. That's a wrong expectation to have. So you will have problems in life, but how do you deal with it? So there's this beautiful flow chart. Let me put it on full screen. Do you have a problem, Moksha? Do you have a problem? Moksha says no. So if you don't have a problem, should you worry about it? If you don't have a problem, why should you worry about it? So don't worry. Now, let me ask someone who has a problem. Okay, Priya has so many problems. So if you do have a problem and your answer to this question is yes, then do you have a solution to that problem? Can you think of a solution? Yes, you can.
So many thoughts, I can think of it.
After thinking a little bit, but you can still come to a solution, right? If you can come to a solution, then why do you have to worry about it? You do have a solution, right? All you need to do is think a little bit about what can be the solution and you're done. So don't worry about it. Now I have a problem and I don't have a solution. Should I worry about it? See, I have a problem,
Yeah.
but I don't have a solution. Okay. Some of my overthinking friends here are saying that, you should worry about it. Whether you don't have a problem, it's not your problem. You don't have a solution. But but you should worry about that. But in life, when it's not your problem, you don't have to hunt for a solution, then why do you want to worry about it? So just don't worry about it. It's not required. The problem with us is we worry about it. And what we need to teach ourselves is not to worry. That's all. So instead of worrying, what should we do?
Don't worry about everything.
Lalita auntie is telling me a few things. You can worry selectively. That's an amazing thing actually. There's somewhere I read that, if you really are interested in worrying,
I do that. I worry selectively.
selectively, okay.
It's not my
Auntie is the most experienced person in the room today. So she says that she worries selectively, but we are all having a long way to go. So we have to learn to do this. But what we really need to do in any situation is whether we have a problem, whether we don't have a problem, whether we have a solution, whether we don't have a solution, is just not to worry. Be patient and go with the flow. Move ahead. There are other things that are coming up. So focus on those, right? So that is the learning that we get from chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody has problems in their life. However great you may be, however the greatest of people you might have with you, but problems you have to face. All you can do is take guidance, face the problems with a cool mind and not worry about it. If it's not under your control, just don't worry. Be patient and let it go. Let it pass. It will pass.
One
right?
way to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll open to questions, Auntie, after this summary slide. So let's end with a summary slide, right? Like I told you, this acronym for the first chapter is doubt, right? D stands for Dhritarashtra's mindset, which was doubt, fear, and partiality towards the Kauravas. Duryodhana's mindset was again a hidden fear. And this is there in the first 12 shlokas of the first chapter, right? Then we move on to O. What was the ominous result? They were expecting all these ominous results to come. Why? Because Pandavas had these signs of victory all along with them. So Kauravas were scared. Then Arjuna went into the battlefield and uncertainty, bewilderment, everything came in. He was hesitant to fight. He was bewildered to fight against his own kith and kin. And the last one, 31st to 42nd shloka, is the turning point. So what was the turning point here? Can someone tell me? What was the turning point in this whole thing? Arjuna was there on the battlefield to do what? To fight. Yes. But what did he end up doing? What did he end up deciding after this episode? To give up. See, I'm getting amazing responses. To give up, to withdraw, not to fight. So this is the conclusion was just not to fight. He gave up, he withdrew, decided not to fight. But let's see what's the right way to go forward as a warrior, whether to fight or not to fight. And what Lord Krishna says about this, we're going to see in the second chapter, which is going to happen on Wednesday, right? Perfect. So a few things that I want to tell you before we go further. We're going to have a short pub quiz right now, but after every chapter, we are going to send you a Google Forms quiz link, right? And it will be best if you can go through part of this chapter if you'd like, okay? And then attempt the quiz. The e-version of this Bhagavad Gita book is shared with you, right? You can go through the translations before attempting the quiz and attempt it with whatever you think is the right answer. You will get scores, but don't worry, there is no pass or fail in the Bhagavad Gita. There's nobody who's going to fail. There's nobody who's going to be number one scholar ranker, nothing of that sort. Everyone is equal. So you just attempt the quiz, and the people who will attempt all the 18 quizzes will certainly get a certificate, irrespective of the marks that you get in the quiz. Okay, so please attempt it, right? So people who do not complete the quizzes, we cannot guarantee you a certificate, unfortunately. But I would recommend you to do these quizzes because it's an opportunity to have a self-reflection. Okay, perfect. So in the next 5 minutes, we are going to do our pub quiz, right? Everyone, I want everyone to get on to the chat box, right? Everyone on the chat box, please. I'll give you 1 minute to log in and get to the chat box if you're not already in here. So I am going to stop my screen sharing. Right.
It's a meeting chat, right? Is that it?
Okay. Yes, the meeting chat. Okay, whoever has logged in with the name iPhone. Is it someone here? Okay, sorry. Right. We're going to start in the next 20 seconds. Is everyone on the chat box? Can you give me a thumbs up? Please keep an eye on the chat box. Thumbs up or a yes? Okay, perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to keep a close eye on the chat box and see who is going to respond the fastest and with the correct answer. All right. The first question is here. I hope everyone is able to hear me, right? Perfect. First question. Ready? Okay. How many chariots were there in the Mahabharata war? How many chariots were there in the Mahabharata? Oh my God. You guys are extremely fast. Nishan says 12,871. How many chariots were there in the Mahabharata war? Purva says it's 100. 20. Manu says 20K. Yutika says 27,918. Okay. And your time ends in, for people who have not yet responded, your time ends in the countdown of 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're done. Okay. So I have all your responses and I'm going to save them with the timestamps. And we're going to go back and look at these responses. We have 2 more questions for the quiz. So all the 3 questions, who answers them closest to the correct answer, because I don't see exact correct answers. Whoever answers closest to the correct answer would be considered for this question. Okay. Question number 2. Is everyone ready for question number 2? Okay. How many signs of victory? How many signs of victory were there on the Pandavas side? How many prominent signs of victory were there on the Pandavas side? Indumati, oh my goodness, you're the fastest, I believe. Shivani, Saumi, you've already answered. Wow. Divya, amazing. Okay, Raghavendra, amazing. You were the first one to answer this. I'm not particularly mentioning correct answers. I'm just mentioning the people who are first to answer. Right. So 10 seconds to go to give the answer for this question. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And done. Okay, the last and the third question. Okay. So this is your chance to redeem yourself if you couldn't get the previous question right. Okay. Right. Over which land were the Kauravas and Pandavas fighting? What's the name of that land? What's the name of that place? Ah, wow. Okay, okay. Okay, it's almost a unanimous answer here. Wow. Amazing. And we end this question in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're done. Great. Congratulations, everyone, on completing the quiz successfully. Big shout out to you all. Amazing. You all did amazingly well. So we are going to stop with this first chapter session here. I know we are already, we have reached the time limit of 6. It's sharp 6 o'clock right now. But I'm very happy to take your questions if anyone has specific questions about this chapter over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So if you're getting late for some things, you are most likely to, sorry, I got to, yeah. So if you are getting late, you want to leave, you're most welcome to leave. But people who have specific questions can stay on and ask them, and I can answer them for you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all. Yes, Chaitra says answers for the quiz. So you need to wait for this. I'll send the answers. I don't want to break the, what to say, the excitement. I don't want to break it just now. So for the first question, I saw a lot of wrong answers. I don't want to give the right answer. Go find out how many chariots were there in the Kurukshetra battlefield. And I'm going to put this on the WhatsApp group. All right. I'm going to put this on the WhatsApp group. I request all of you to join the WhatsApp group. The link has been emailed to you, right? If you have not received that link, I can put it just now on this chat box. We are going to we have created a WhatsApp group where we will send out the quiz winners' names every day. Yes. So Yutika is helping me with putting the link. You will get the link in the chat box. I request everyone who's not on the WhatsApp group to please join there, right? So we will send out the quiz winners' names there. We will send out the correct answers for the quiz there. And we will send out the actual question answer quiz link for the certificate separately. So please attempt that quiz. And if you do need any other type of help or assistance, difficulty in understanding shlokas, you're very welcome to message any of the admins on the group and we will get back to you, right? Perfect. So people who have questions, who are in-house and who are online as well, please raise your hands digitally who are online. You can raise your hands and I can give you an opportunity to unmute yourself. Sorry. Okay, the first question we are going to take is from Purva. Purva, आपको क्या इसमें क्या आपको समझ में आया है? आपका क्या क्वेश्चन है? आप कोई भी क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हो, इससे रिलेटेड नहीं है तो वो भी पूछ सकते हो. Okay, Purva does not want to ask his question at the moment. So Lalita auntie is the next senior member.
So I am the older one here, so you can take the questions first from the young ones.
Okay, so Lalita auntie wants to give away the question answer session to you all. Basically, she doesn't want to ask her question. She's like the younger ones
I
first.
have passed 70, so My answer will be very different from yours. Therefore,
Lalita auntie says she's over 70 and she's going to give completely different answers. So is there nobody with questions?
right.
Nobody has a question from the first chapter?
71.
Karthike has raised his hand. Okay. Yes, Karthike. Let me see if I can unmute you. 1 second. Yes. I think you will be able to unmute yourself. Otherwise,
Questions.
sorry.
I'd be interested in the questions what they're asking.
Yeah.
I want to see how the young mind works.
Are we interested in the question? So what are they saying? Karthike, are you not able to unmute yourself? Okay. He's typed in his question. Arjuna was in depression state before the start of the war. So what did Krishna say? Okay. So in answer to your question, it's a very nice question that Karthike is asking. He's saying that Arjuna was already depressed before he came to the battlefield. And what did Krishna say for that? So let me clear the air about this a little bit. Arjuna was not depressed before he came to Kurukshetra, not before he came to the battlefield. It was only after he came to the battlefield and his chariot was placed at the middle of the battlefield and he saw everyone there was his, friends and family. That's when he realized that he was overtaken by grief. He realized that this is something that I don't want to do. I don't want to fight. He was not depressed before coming to the battlefield. He was the most, the most renowned warrior of that time. The best sports person, or I really don't know what word fits in right here. He was the best fighter anyone could ask for. So he came with a fighting spirit, but ended up with grief. Right. Okay. Right. So I have messages coming in from Chaitra and Bhargav. So Chaitra says, so in the summary slide, you say whether you have a problem or don't have a problem. The answer was not to worry. How do you train your mind not to worry? This is a very important question. And from chapter 2 onwards, Krishna gives us various different ways to train our mind. Okay. So this, what we call as yoga in the Indian system, is not what we see as yoga today, right? Yoga actually means something very different. And there are different methods by which you can approach the problem of training your mind. Okay.
The first thing you should
Yes.
do is detach yourself.
Yes. So auntie is talking about detachment.
Detach yourself
yeah.
from the problem and then look at the problem separately.
Yeah. Perfect. So auntie is now already progressed to chapter 6 while we're in chapter 1. So let's wait until we reach that point in time.
That's what,
But
when
yes.
you're 70, you will reach that point.
Auntie says if you're 70, you will reach the understanding of chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, perfect. Right. So Chaitra, about training, sorry? Like meditation. Okay. Purva says you can do meditation. Chaitra, see, Purva has given you an idea. So you can meditate to train your mind. But let's see what Bhagwan Sri Krishna tells us. From the chapter 2 onwards, he's going to answer Arjuna's problem and confusion, basically. So let us wait and watch what Lord Krishna has to say. And meditation is one of the ways that Krishna advised to Arjuna to control his mind. So high five. You're right. So.
That was my mom.
Oh, was it? Purva cheating. Okay, right. So Purva says meditation. Right. Next question I have from Bhargav. I have doubts. Okay. Bhishma Pitama and Krishna both could have stopped this war or finished this war within a few minutes. But why didn't that happen? So this is a very profound question. And why didn't Lord Krishna end the war in a minute? If he wished, he could have. But that is that is what you should not expect God to do for you, right? It's your life, it's our life. And God is there with us to guide us, but not to do what we are supposed to do, right? See, you're in the battlefield and your coach is with you, right? Imagine you're the sports person. Okay, if you are interested in cricket, you're the sports person. Your coach is there with you and he's guiding you. But will you expect your coach to come and do the match for you, come and play the match for you? Hmm? Will you be considered even a sports person if you expect that from your coach? So that's exactly what we are trying to ask in this question. We will not ethically expect that, right? So you're not a real sports person if you want your coach to come and play for you, right? So Lord Krishna is like the coach and we are like the sports person here. And he will teach us how to play the game. He will guide us by being there while we are playing the game, but he will not play the game for us, right? So Krishna is, we'll see in the further chapters, he says that I'm always there with you, in your heart as Paramatma, always guiding you. But whether you want to take the guidance or not is your free will, your choice, right? So we'll see this in the further chapters. All right. Are there any further questions? Yes, Supratim here has a question. Yeah.
What I could read from the first chapter, that Arjun was in Vishal, he was in Vishal, he was in anxiety, that yeah, actually he was
Yes.
preparing for around like 50 years, I guess.
Hmm.
Because Draupadi didn't tie her hair for more than 50 years. So
For the battle.
every day Draupadi used to like show the Pandavas that see my hair is untied, you have to take revenge. So they were being prepared since the last 50 to 70 years to fight this war. And when he comes to the workplace and he has taken his Gandiva, his hands are trembling. His hands are trembling.
Yeah.
Now the question is that often at times we face these similar situations in which the question I feel that this is more of Swadharma, because Arjuna is a born warrior, but right that moment of time he is he is so much moved with attachment that moha, that he's unable to understand what is right, what is wrong. He's thinking that I should not kill my parents because as a son, as a grandson, I can't kill my grandfather.
Yeah.
But his dharma is to be a warrior is different.
Yeah.
Why is he in this ethical dilemma? And why this attachment creates the ethical dilemma? How should we tackle this in our life? How should
That's
we
the whole,
approach life
the
for
whole,
that?
the whole Bhagavad Gita itself answers that question. So we start with Arjuna's ethical dilemma just to see how we ourselves, if we face this kind of situation in our life, we will definitely face such ethical dilemmas where our own people will, turn against us in certain situations. So how do you handle it? Do you give up right away, saying that, you're fighting for something that's right, but you're fighting against somebody that's very dear to you? So do you still give up or do you choose to fight for the cause? So this is what we will see what Arjuna does. See what Arjuna wants to do now. What did we see in the first chapter? Arjuna is grief stricken. So what does he want to do?
He wants to leave.
He wants to give up. He wants to not fight at all. He wants to leave the battlefield. He's not able to stand. You told Supratim just told us that Arjuna and the Pandavas were preparing for 50 years, to execute this fight, this battle, despite being the greatest of warriors. And on the battlefield, imagine after preparing for 50 years, you prepare for this is like the UPSC aspirant, right?
Yeah.
10 years they prepare and then they say in the interview, now I don't want to become IAS. So it's like that. And nobody would do that. So this was a very big thing for Arjuna actually to refuse the battle itself. So the question of how to handle this ethical dilemma will be answered by Lord Krishna, which I don't want to give away in this session, right? So we will deal with this in Wednesday's session a little bit, right? Hi, Pradeep has put his hands up. Yeah, thank you, Supratim. Thank you for that question. Yeah, Pradeep Das Gupta ji, your hand is up. That is you. Oh, that's what you said. Okay. Okay, sorry. Pradeep Das Gupta is Supratim only. Girls, don't be fooled. Okay, it is Supratim. Okay. Lalita auntie had a question, I think. You wanted everyone else to ask and then you wanted to ask. No? All right. Okay, Chaitra has a question. Is guidance given by Krishna free will or destiny? This is an interesting question. Is guidance given by a person or a thing? Are free will and destiny a person? Chaitra, this question is for you. So if you can either respond by chat or I can also unmute you.
I have this itself is another discussion.
Free will versus destiny is a huge discussion, and we will see about this.
Then there's karma. Comes
Yes, yes. We will
Yes.
see about this in a little more in detail about, 15th chapter, 12th chapter, around that. Yes.
Can I share a thought? I read this in a book. So there was a religious Mahatma. He explained about free will versus destiny. So if you see a cow and it is tied to a knot, the cow can eat the grass surrounding the radii of that
Yes.
that area, that vicinity.
Yeah.
Now that area till which the cow can eat the grass, that is free will.
Yeah.
But the area outside the grass, the cow tries very hard to eat that, but he can't because the rope is tied. So when the controller of the rope sees that okay, he's trying hard to eat that grass, that controller, he tries to just relax the rope a bit so that he can eat more of grass, but again ties it up. So that is the
that's the most commonly given example for free will and destiny. But I still think that it does not completely explain destiny or free will. It explains free will, but not how destiny comes into play. So we will discuss this in the future chapters. He gave a very good example, Supratim. So we will discuss all of this. I thank you all for joining today's session. We're going to close the session now, and it was wonderful. I'm very happy to see you all here. We're going to continue this. The quiz winners and the quiz link for this chapter 1 plus the summary slide will be shared with you all on the WhatsApp group. So make sure to join the WhatsApp group. If you do have any issues with joining the WhatsApp group, or you do not want to be on a WhatsApp group, please get in touch with me or the person who had messaged you, one of the admins, Karthike. So we will help you further on sending messages separately to you. All right. Thank you. See you on Wednesday at the same time. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.